You guys keep asking me for 300 horsepower. This is a 4.5mm guide that can go in the ZX14 exhaust and a 30.5mm valve, upping it 2mm on the exhaust side, giving us the ability to flow 300 horsepower out the exhaust. Looking for guides like this for 1.5 years now, trying to find a guide that would fit in the ZX14 head that allows us to run a 4.5mm stem. And there I go, dropping it. This is a 30.5mm valve that we can now put into the ZX14 and give it the ability to flow the 300 horsepower out the exhaust. Now we just got to see if we can get 300 horsepower to flow into the intake. I've got a couple of things that have come in that we're going to have some videos about in the future, and one video right now. One being, we got an airbox. This airbox doesn't really mean much, but what it is going to be able to do, combined with the throttle bodies that we got with it, is we're quite possibly going to put dual injectors on a ZX14, as well as lower the floor, increasing its tuning RPM, trying to increase its flow. We are currently limited to a 48mm throttle body. I'm hoping after this throttle body is bored that it will be closer to a 50mm throttle body because its boots are bigger. It comes off of a different year model Kawasaki, and we're also going to fit the electrical system off of the same bike. I will mention that later on in the build once it's been a bit successful. I don't want people to beat me to the punch on getting it, but something else that we have here, which is the main reason for the video, is the unboxing of this exhaust that has been custom done for us to our specifications. It should help in breathing all of the extra amount out. So let's see what we got, and then we're going to get it on the bike and take a look at it before we end up ceramic coating it. It has a nice big entrance, multiple steps to it, so it's one step here, another step, not a step there, and I believe it steps again at the collector, and we got some fittings to be able to get some air tubes on it to sniff our exhaust out of it. The bolts. So the studs will be gone. We might swap out some of those for titanium. So we had titanium studs on it already. Or I might use the titanium studs. We'll see. Come on. Get you out of the paper. This is a sidewinder. Hence the turns equal length. Very excited for this. It's the only way to get something that's bigger than the C2 that is on it. So we got both turns there, and pops out of the way. Not sure whether we'll be ceramic coating this or we let another company do it. I would like to do it, but I'm not sure that I can match their price. All right. Woo! No baffling at all. I wasn't expecting that part. Big can. It's all ported, matched. Beautiful collector. That's what happens when you get handmade. It's This was done for us by Chip Ellis. Absolutely beautiful work on the inside and the out. No seams to grind, none of that.
Alright, let's see what it looks like put together.
What an absolutely beautiful exhaust. And we're going to ceramic coat it. Just gorgeous. The Brox CT exhaust on the scale, 7 pounds 14 ounces. Sidewinder, 1 ounce less. Granted, we don't have springs on this one. No, we don't have springs on this one, but you get the idea. Well, the exhaust is on there. We got a slight interference problem there. Had to add some distance in there, but she's on there. I don't know if the gaskets are fully sealed, but they're not brand new gaskets, so the brand new set should be fine. And might have to have that lined, but all in all, she's good. Big tube exhaust all on there, beautiful as can be. All blasted, ready for some coating. We'll give this a double coat, 2 different colors. Start off with a gray and then finish with a silver. Got it all cleaned up on the inside too, as long as the sun shines on in there. No welding slag, nothing. The other side's all blasted. We'll coat all that. Our new exhaust for the ZX14, all ceramic coated inside and out. And then the end of it is over here. We want the tip black, but I'm gonna have to redo that because the black and the silver didn't mix. We got our 2-tone ceramic coat, black and silver. It's ceramic coated on the inside as well. Should be able to hold in some good heat. We've done it. I know I'm crazy, but these are ZX10 intakes. There's a ZX10 throttle body going on a ZX14 head, so we can have a 50mm throttle body. Ain't been done as far as I'm aware. Did some welding on the head in order to make the flanges fit. We also got 2mm over exhaust valves going in it. We haven't determined what we're doing as far as intake valves yet. Working on acquiring some better intake valves. The exhaust valves are titanium. They weigh significantly less, 18 grams per valve, and the collets weigh 5 grams less than the stock ones. The stock valves weigh 28 grams, so we're losing 15 grams per valve. There's also 4.5mm valve guides in it. We still got the last one to take out to compare against all the rest of them so we can get the cams done right. Stock ZX14 retainer, one we're about to use. First hole being cut. Man, that is a big difference. So that one's still the size, the stock size, but fully ported. And this one's already most of the way cut. So the seat is actually the right width, but the 60 still needs to go further because this is too wide, and then the 70 is ridiculously wide. Eventually this valve is going to be able to fit all the way through the port, and then possibly we'll take it up to this size. So that's a 25.5 and that's a 26. So we got one fully cut to the 2mm over valve. Right next to it, one that is a stock size valve. You can still see the ceramic coating inside it and the ceramic coating on the valves there. That is so much bigger. This one we've opened up the throat to the new size, but we haven't finished cutting the seat, and all the rest of these are the original size. Man, that's a big boy. That's gonna flow like crazy. So we got a 2mm over valve here, a 30.5 and a 28.4, and the stock 34mm intake valves. And to show the 31 in the hole, or sorry, 30.5, it's 28.4, 30.5, and this one weighs significantly less. This is 18 grams. This one is 28 grams. The spring cap that goes on top of these, the stock one is 12 grams. This one's 7 grams. So massive weight. Big intake valve in until we get the titanium ones in. See all the way down the port. Exhaust valve sizes are already up. Guides are in. We got one last one to do over here. And off to a good start. You can see a bit of, this one's still the old original valve size, and this one is the new valve size. And we're going to a much larger piston. We can add a lot more clearance de-shrouding it over here, as where this one is half the distance away as this one is from the edge of the valve, even with the new valve in it. But adding flow, getting it to breathe as much as possible, so even though this is only a 1mm over valve, it's gonna flow like as if it's 2mm over. Peek at the last valve seat before I cut it. So that's the original size. This is one that's already been done. We did ceramic coat this head before, and that was to the original combustion size. But now we're going to a 3mm bigger piston, so we can fit a lot more angles. Final view of the chamber work. All the valves are cut. We still got some porting to do on the intakes, and a little bit left to do on that one because that was the last guide we put. We got 3 ports sized up to what we need, almost to the final finish. This one is still the way it used to be. Still kind of small, but it was the right size for the 1441. And this will be the right size for the 1640. Here she is from the other angle. That one still needs to be done, still small. You can see straight line all. This is the material from just one port, just that port, going from a 1441 to a 1630. Well, here we are, proof that they fit. We're gonna have 50mm throttle bodies, at least I believe that's what we're gonna be able to bore them up to, that fit to the ZX14 head. This is the one that you'll see that I've been porting earlier in the video. There's a look down the port currently. We're going to change the opening a little bit because that doesn't quite match yet, but the port itself is done. Let's take these off here. There's the ports. Currently we're thinking about a 4mm stroke and a 3mm bore, but we might try and make this joker a 6mm stroke. I still got to talk to the people that can make the crank, but there's room to make it a 6mm. Just a start of what's happening to these throttle bodies. These are currently 47s. I already went through and ported and ground on the shaft. Remove the shaft in order to do that. These bolts will probably get changed out later to something that is less obtrusive. I got to send these out to my guy to bore them out. These, because they are ovals, don't get done the same way, so that I believe they end up mounting this side and spin the tool rather than spin the whole thing. But got him to agree to do it, and we'll be sending them out, and hopefully we get them back, and they'll be roughly 50 millimeters when they're done, so that'll be bigger than the 48s we were running, and we absolutely need it, being that this is going to be over 1600 cc's. So we got some different throttle bodies that we're going to fit onto the ZX14 in the attempts to get 50 millimeter throttle bodies on this 14. This will be something that after it works, we will be doing these in the future. As you can see, the stack heights are at least similar on the bottom level. We're going to have to change the air box in order to fit this in. The ovals cause a bit of a problem. That would be the low height that everybody uses for 14,000 RPM on these motors. We are not doing that. We need the actual long stacks. Probably going to end up with 4 of these guys when it's all said and done. She's all taped up, ready for ceramic tomorrow.